And we're back, bro. Champions League. I told you, it will surprise
Very,
everybody. It will
very
surprise.
sad,
It will
sad day
surprise
for
everyone.
Aston Villa fans.
But I feel like Aston Villa is the most surest. Like their exit is like out of all the teams you look at, and you're like who will get evicted next or who will get eliminated next.
Mm.
Aston Villa, they're like obviously like number one on that list to get like eliminated. I never thought they were going to ever be a strong Champions League team.
But
And
they are not eliminated yet, actually. So
but how do you come back from that 3-1 loss with
the
PSG
three
side?
2-1 2-1 would have been okay,
3-1.
but 3-1,
PSG just have to stay structured, defend.
there is no. I don't think
There's
there's any coming back
there's
like
no
that.
there's no need to stress. They have no reason to stress themselves or worry about
How
anything.
do you come back from that? It's so hard.
It's so difficult to come back from that. But I guess the biggest surprise is Barcelona Dortmund, the 4-0 like loss that Dortmund
That
faced.
was not a surprise, though.
It was a big surprise to me because I think watching the game, I keep on asking myself, is
Mm.
Dortmund just a poor team or is Barcelona just amazing? Are they like a super team right now that nobody really can compete with at this point? Do you get where I'm coming from? Like
Yeah, yeah,
I'm seeing the crosses into the box from Lamine Yamal. I'm seeing Rafinha, in one of the best, in one of his best forms ever,
mm.
and I'm seeing Lewandowski in form, you know, killer instincts from the striker. I'm I'm seeing a complete team.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm seeing a strong team. I'm seeing a Champions League team. I see a team that can win the Champions League. And
Barcelona.
yes, and based on the conversation we had yesterday in yesterday's live, where Chooks was on the live and Chooks was like, um, he's seen an Arsenal Barcelona
Final.
final.
Mm.
I'm kind of seeing that now. I'm kind of seeing that now.
It's possible. Anything is possible at
It
this
is
point.
very possible. It's 100% very possible because Arsenal, they're a very strong team. They've most likely removed Real Madrid.
Mm.
It almost feels like if you remove Real Madrid, you kind of like now have an easy access to the final. Sometimes it feels like that.
Mm.
But Arsenal most likely have removed Madrid. Um, we have like PSG most likely have removed Aston Villa. So we're
Mm.
expecting like an Arsenal PSG semi-final.
Final, yeah.
I'm expecting Arsenal to remove PSG on, if not on a last minute goal type of situation, because I see that game being very cagey, being
Mm.
very end to end. If not from a situation of like last minute goal, maybe Arsenal corner set piece type of goal, which Arsenal have been solid. They've been good at at converting set pieces, right?
Yeah,
Corners, free kicks now that we saw against
yeah.
Madrid. 2 free kicks, 2 goals. Easiest goal ever, right? Um, I'm now seeing the game with Arsenal PSG being one that Arsenal might eventually just find a way and win, and
But the thing
that
is,
might
no.
get them
You
to the
see,
final.
I know first leg has gone.
Hmm.
We've seen we were predicting, we're assuming there's going to be Arsenal PSG.
Hmm.
But what if it's Real Madrid in the semi final? What if it's Aston Villa in the semi final? Yes, it can happen. Right? It can happen. I
I
know
mean,
we are
the
saying,
odds of that happening is what I'm thinking about. I'm not saying it can't happen. It's
yeah,
just the odds of that happening, especially at this point,
true.
right? Because Madrid really have not been the most informed team. They've lost at the Bernabeu, right? They
Mm.
lost to Villarreal at the Bernabeu. They lost even in the Champions League. Who did they lose to? They lost to. I think they had a loss in the Bernabeu too in this Champions League during the league stage. I can't remember the name of the team they lost to.
Mm.
So isn't Madrid? They're not a team right now. Yes, they're a strong Champions League team historically, but if you look at them right now at this exact moment, I don't really think
True.
they have the grit to come
Madrid
back
is
from that
out.
3-0 loss. I don't
Madrid
think.
is out. But Aston Villa have one leg in and one leg out. Except PSG messes up, but I don't see how they get it.
It's possible for Villa to score 2 goals and to be 2-0.
It's very possible.
It's
No,
very
the thing
possible to be to
Villa can
even score
actually
three
score two
goals.
goals against PSG.
It's
But
possible
the
for them to
thing is
score.
that
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
only issue I have is that the same PSG we saw against Liverpool in their house, in Liverpool's house, is the same level I saw against Aston Villa.
Yes.
The level has not dropped.
Has
It's
not.
increasing.
It has not.
Right? So how does Aston Villa overcome this?
They can't, bro. Like you've literally
At
answered yourself.
2-1,
They can't.
at 2-1, it
Maybe
was
you have
sure.
a chance. Maybe you have
Yes.
a chance at 2-1. Maybe 3-1.
But the thing now is that
It's gonna be
the only
difficult.
problem I have now is that Unai Emery might, he likes to play high line and all this thing, right?
Hmm.
He might want to come out and attack PSG quickly to try to score,
Early on. Hmm.
and that will expose them. But it's surprising how they
But
scored
it's
first.
not. But it's not. I don't think it's impossible for PSG to score, for Aston Villa to score PSG. I don't think it's impossible, right?
Mm,
Because when you watch the game, they had
mm.
chances. They
There
scored
are
first,
chances, true, yeah,
right? They had
true.
chances. It just felt like what was the problem was PSG just kept on pressing and hammering Aston Villa with waves and waves of attack. But
Mm,
one thing that stood out to me specifically was the individual brilliance that you saw from Cravastelia
true,
and
true, true.
and
They have
Dembele.
exceptional players,
Like their players are just
right?
so
The
exceptional.
only exceptional player Aston Villa has maybe Asensio
But defensively,
and
Aston Villa
Rogers.
were not solid. No, they were not all the way solid defensively. They
Who is
tried. Aston
when
Villa,
you
they
when
were not
you
all the
when
way
you have
solid.
this assassin in your defense,
They were not all the
uh,
way solid. You
is
see
that are
some.
you being solid?
I see so many lines that just line breaking passes through the defense. So
The
like
third goal was a line breaking pass.
how how were you not expecting that pass or stopping that pass? Like Mendes got the ball and just you
Ran
know
through.
and just scored.
Just so ridiculous. The third goal really pained me, demoralized me very well. Just like, oh my god, this is not fair. At 2-1, no, no, I preferred it being at 2-1,
Yeah.
right? Then you now go. But the thing is that even
Hmm.
3-1 is nothing,
Hmm.
right? Like you said, 3-1 is nothing. It's Champions League. Now,
Hmm.
away goals and home goals, they don't really count anything. You just need to score. They are totaling, it was before where away goals was counting like two, was double.
Oh,
But
that
they've
doesn't
removed
count
that.
again.
It doesn't count again. They just count the total amount of goals you scored away and at home, right? And if
Yeah,
you
total
obviously,
aggregates, right?
yes,
Whoever has the most aggregate.
and if you obviously won, right? So that's what they count
Hmm.
now. So it doesn't really mean Aston Villa. They just need to. What I think they need to do is score one,
Hmm.
score one, and just defend, stay tight.
Hmm.
Not the same way what they did in Paris, so not the one they did today, because that's not defending at all.
You don't think so?
That was terrible defending. They had six. In fact, as Arsenal should not use that tactic. Six. I was saying 6 and 4 might not work for Real Madrid. Not no, because as a coach, you look at it. Maybe it's just the quality of the players.
But imagine
Six.
Arsenal go to Real Madrid and then they lose 4-0.
Ah, you know what I even think?
Mbappe hat trick.
You know what I think? They should not even let Arsenal not sit back.
Yo.
Arsenal should not sit back.
They should actually just play their game
They should just play.
because they played Madrid,
Play
right?
and not be too opened.
They played Madrid, just the same game they did. The
Yes,
way they
play
played
and not
at
be
home,
too,
they should play
because
the
if you
exact
go
same
and
way.
sit back, you have like Unai Emery, you have six and you have four. If you have very
Mhm.
intelligent players that can break the lines, oh my god. Just one
It's a
ball
big
over the
problem
top.
for you.
Person is
Mhm.
in.
Mhm.
Right? So I was disappointed with the third goal, a bit
Mhm.
demoralized to say to say the least. I was demoralized by that third goal.
Let's
Disappointed.
let's shift our focus to
Ye-
Barcelona
Yeah.
Dortmund, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about the Barcelona team right now? I know I hyped them a lot, and I've hyped them since we started this live. I spoke
Mm.
about them. I hyped them. I was like, they have to be like the strongest team in Europe.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
most complete and the most informed team right now. To me, Krubasi is amazing.
They are they
Fermin,
are a young
amazing.
they are good. They are a young side.
Yamal, a lot of solid informed
Yes.
players, right?
They
So,
are they are good, and they are
mhm,
the only issue I have is that they are a
mhm.
very young side.
What do you mean by they're a very young
They are
side?
young. Most of their
Like,
players are
how does that?
young.
But how does that? But you have stars in the team like Lewandowski, right?
I know, but apart from Lewandowski, who do you have that has Champions League experience?
Kunde has Champions League experience,
Not like that.
but he does. Kunde has Champions League experience.
In what where did he get the Champions League experience?
He played in the Champions League last season.
You say, where did they end up? Did they go far?
It doesn't matter, right? It's Champions. You've played the
Okay,
Champions
the
League
season
already.
before last, were they in the Champions League? They were. I think they were in the Champions League.
But he does, right? I'm not. But the conversation is people don't have Champions League. I'm trying to see like
In
how does
terms,
that matter in this
in
case?
terms, I know, but in terms of like maturity, they have
Mm-hmm.
too many young people in the team. Do you get? PSG also has, but PSG, I feel like PSG has a better blend because the guys that are there have been there for long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Long. You can't compare their right back, their center back, Vitinha, all these guys. They've played Champions League for at least 6, 7 years. They've
Mm-hmm.
not had joy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that experience, that mentality, that mindset
Is there? They know what it
is there.
takes. They know what it takes. Mm-hmm.
In Barcelona, the only person that really has I can count and tick is Lewandowski. Okay, let's count Kunde.
Mm-hmm.
But apart from that, which other person
I think some of the players that they
do
have
you
been
get?
Champions League
So
before.
the thing is that if Barcelona meets a team like Inter Milan,
Mm-hmm.
they are going to go out.
I
They
don't.
are
I don't
they are
think so.
they are. Let me give you an example. They are
I don't
playing
think
well,
so.
flair, all these type of things. If they meet a team
Mm-hmm.
like Inter Milan, that they are the most difficult team to break down on earth currently. Apart from Atletico are very difficult, but
Mm-hmm.
Inter Milan is worse. You know why they are worse? At least Atletico Madrid play with four defenders.
Mm.
They play with four. He plays with 4-4-2. That's his traditional. Traditional 4-4-2 is
Yeah.
what Simeone plays with. It's never changed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get?
Mm-hmm.
Inzaghi plays with five, the 3-4-3
Mm-hmm.
or 3-5-2. What that means is that at every point in time, there are just so many people in the midfield.
Yeah.
If there are no people in the midfield, those two go to the back. There are too many people in defense. Three midfield. Then those three midfield, those two people in front will still come back again.
I'm
So
trying to. I'm trying to understand. Like, I'm trying to understand how this tactical formation has anything to do with the fact that Barcelona is a strong team to play
it
against.
has everything to do because if you are, you need to know they need at Champions League level, you need to be able to break down teams.
And why is it
Do
think
you
they
get?
can break down Inter?
And
I think they're a team that can break down Inter.
it will not be easy. I don't
You
think so.
have you have a creative right wing player like Lamine Yamal, skillful, right, unpredictable, good crosses. You have Rafinha, which is like playing more like a forward, like a secondary
I
striker
know.
to Lewandowski coming off the left. You have
In
Lewandowski,
yes, Inter
good in the
Milan
good
have
in the air. He can nod the
Inter
ball. He
Milan
can
have
score.
similar players.
Yeah, no, but I'm struggling to see like why you feel like yes, it will be a very tough game.
And they're more mature. They've been to the final. They were in the final 2 years ago. It matters. Sincerely, it matters. You might think it doesn't matter, but it matters.
How much?
Right?
I don't think it matters enough because how much?
And
Okay, looking at PSG,
why I say it matters is because you remember when Man City were trying to win the Champions League
mm-hmm,
before Pep came.
mm-hmm,
they had all the players.
Mm-hmm.
They had Pellegrini, or before Pellegrini, they had
Mm-hmm.
forgotten his name. I've forgotten the guy's name. He was
Mm-hmm.
there. You see the sign, but you see that they were extremely good. The team was extremely good, even at that time when Balotelli was still there. The
Mm-hmm.
major problem they were having, which I think Aston Villa would have, is
Mm-hmm.
that they don't have the experience. Then the next year came, they were a bit better. Next
Mm-hmm.
year came, they were a bit better. Next
Mm-hmm.
year came, they were a bit better. They did 4 5 years, right? Then after which, another thing that happened that added to that was their coach then did not have the experience of winning Champions League, which I
Yeah.
think Barcelona has.
Mm-hmm.
That's an added advantage. He's
Mm-hmm.
been to the final before,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he's won it.
Yeah.
So he has that mentality. So the only thing he would do now is to try to put that mentality into them. Do you get?
I
So now
understand. Yeah.
you now come up when Man City came, not Man City, Guardiola came in. Guardiola had the same issue. He now took them a step further. They started getting to semi-final. Till they did like 3 semi-finals in a row, if you
Mm-hmm.
remember.
I
Then they
remember.
got to final.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing for these young kids of Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
Their coach is going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. It's the same signs you are seeing in PSG. The mentality that those people have, the PSG players have, is from their coach.
Let's talk about, since you're talking about mentality, let's talk about like looking at mentality from competition to competition. So for example, if I have won the World Cup,
Yeah.
don't I can you say I also have the right mentality to win the Champions League because I've won the World Cup? I've won a competition before. I'm a competition. I've played in a huge competition like the World Cup and I've won with my country.
Yes and no. Yes. Wait, now let me explain. Yes, in the sense that if you've won that trophy, you have
Mhm.
the mentality
If
to
you know
overcome.
what I'm saying, if you've won a major trophy in your career, I
Yes.
personally feel like you have the mentality to win another major trophy,
Yeah,
whether
okay,
whether
let
or
me
not you've played in that
yeah.
competition more than
Okay, let
six
me
times.
it's different when I say no also. I say no because the people you played with are different. Now, their own mentalities.
But why should that matter, right? Why
It
should the people
matters
you play with
because the
matter?
group you play with matters.
Why should that
Even
matter? Because you've won, you because it's a competition. It's random. Like you don't know who you play with season to season.
I know, no, no,
So
what I'm that's not what I mean. I mean like your
mhm,
teammates, right? It's not
mhm,
just your mentality. Even if you didn't have the top level mentality, you might
okay.
have had senior pros around you that lift
Mhm,
that mentality up and give you that a bit of experience.
mhm,
Their mentalities add everything. Then you, if you have the skill, you're extremely good, it helps you. And a big example is Enzo Fernandez.
mhm,
If Enzo Fernandez goes to Champions League now,
mhm.
you can't say because he won World Cup. Good, he has a mentality of a senior pro, right? But you can't say because
Of course you can say that.
no,
Of
no,
course
no,
you can say
no.
that.
But
You've
you see
won
the
competitions
what I'm
before.
saying. No, no, no. I understand what you're saying, but when he even won the World
Mm.
Cup, he was extremely young. Who were the people with him?
Messi,
Messi,
Di
their
Maria,
keeper, Di Maria. Those are men. He was a boy when he won it. But now, no, no, Kingsley.
McAllister. Mhm,
But now, McAllister. But now you now see that he's
mhm,
done I think 2 years in Chelsea or 3 years now. This is
mhm,
third year. His mentality is changing. I'm seeing it. We're seeing everybody's seeing a different Enzo Fernandez.
mhm,
We're seeing the reason why they gave him captain armband.
mhm,
He's scoring goals week in, week out now, which he wasn't doing before.
mm,
So that mentality, he might have won the World Cup how many years ago with
mhm.
a lot of senior pros, but that even if Chelsea was in Champions League, that doesn't guarantee anything because the experience of the people he's playing with Chelsea team, they are garbage. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think he
So
can. I personally feel like I think he can play a role because, for example, the
it
reason why
should
I brought it up, the reason why I
mm,
brought it up is we talk about the Barcelona team that have like solid senior players that have Champions League experience. We talked about
Who are the
Lewandowski,
senior
like
Lewandowski? Yes.
Lewandowski, Rafinha. I'm sure he
Mhm.
has Champions League experience. Rafinha,
Mm.
Kunde, and some others. I don't know who their keeper is. Is their keeper Testegen? Is it who's their
You've
keeper?
forgotten that
So
Rafinha came from Leeds United.
no. But I'm telling you,
He came
like
from Leeds
you
United
also have
three years ago.
true, but you also have Lamine
So where
Yamal.
is the
That
mentality coming
you also
from?
have Lamine Yamal that also has won the Euros, right? So it's like
Uh-huh.
you're looking at I'm looking at this team and I'm like, we have a mixture of people that have played football arguably at the highest level, right?
But
And
I
are
don't
playing and are playing and are playing at the highest level in the right
good.
form.
Yes.
I
But
don't think that
when you count
mentality
senior
plays
men,
that's much of a
yes.
role.
But if you can't when you count senior men in terms of Champions League, you can't count
Mhm.
Rafinha.
But you don't understand what
You
I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say like these players have played football arguably on the in the highest level, such that I don't really think that
Raf,
mentality is a factor.
I know, but
I feel like it's something where like if you show up that day and
yeah.
play your game, you win.
Yes, but Rafinha himself just started playing at the highest level 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm,
He was a Leeds United player, a
mm-hmm,
relegation team.
mm-hmm,
So it's 3 years experience he has. You
mm-hmm.
can't compare with Lewandowski, that's a senior man. Compare now. When you talk of Champions League
But
maestro, you
what is the comparison? Like you
the comparison that
comparison is it
Lewandowski
Lewandowski
has
by default is a veteran because he's older.
Lewandowski has gotten to final of
Because
Champions League. He's
not
played
just
so many.
But that also comes with the age too, right? Like he's a veteran in the sport. He has played football at the highest
Yes,
level for
but
years.
you must not be
Of
old.
course, no, but that comes with the sport. With the sports, like if you play at a top team for a
Mm,
certain number of years, there is no
mm,
way you will not have the Champions League experience, right? Like Lewandowski is a more senior veteran player, so he's obviously expected a striker of that caliber
mm.
would have that wealth of experience
Okay,
attached to him.
let me give you an example. When did Jude Bellingham go to Real Madrid?
Like 2 seasons ago.
Good. Would you say in terms of Champions League,
Mhm.
you put him and Rafinha, who has more?
But you can't put him and Lewandowski,
No, 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 no.
right?
I'm putting him and Rafinha.
Rafinha,
Yes. You put him and Rafinha. Who do you think
Rafinha.
has more Champions League mentality? More.
You can't say though.
He has because he's
You
been going for
can't
Champions League in
say.
Dortmund.
You know what?
Before
Let's
no
be
no no.
honest.
What I'm saying is that
How
before he
many?
came,
How long has Rafinha been at Barcelona?
I think it's 3 years. It's 3 years now because it's almost the same. Is when the Chelsea owners tried to buy Chelsea the same year. That's when he went to
So
to
he's been there
Barcelona.
for 2 years, right? Rafinha joined Barcelona July 2022 and is currently under contract with the club, meaning he has played for them for about 2 years as of April 9, 2025. So he's been there for 2 years,
So that's what I'm
which means he
saying.
has experienced two Champions Leagues
Yes,
with
the two.
Barcelona.
So, yeah, so that's what
So
I'm
two
saying.
to three, like
So
what difference does it make?
is the same thing? Is the same thing when I call people like them Saka, all these guys? I call them. Do you get when I say they are a bit? They have more maturity now in terms of Champions League. How many Champions League has Ateta had in terms of experience? I think he's had three. If I'm not, I can't remember. He's
So the
had three.
last Champions League last season, right? Barcelona got to quarterfinals,
Yes,
right? So Rafinha has quarterfinals experience. This is
he
his
does
second.
have quarter.
This is his
Yes,
second quarterfinal.
yes,
So like that
which
doesn't
is good.
really, yeah, it
Yes,
doesn't
but the
really
thing
count.
is, which is good. But the thing
Mhm.
is that they have other young. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They have other young. There are so many young people in that squad.
But how many young? Is young that you're talking about? Are you talking about young in terms of age? Or are you talking about young in terms of how long they've been playing for the club? Please
Age,
explain.
and how do I say it? Age in general,
Because
and
the age or how long they've been playing for the club. Because age plays little of a factor these days in football, right? Because we're seeing 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds winning stuff and doing things at the highest level. 20-year-olds doing stuff. People
True,
people are
true,
coming into their prime a little earlier than before. So
true.
age is not really counting in football that much, don't you think?
Is not counting and is counting in the sense that, let me give you an example.
Yeah.
As a 17-year-old, when you've played till like you're 22,
Mm-hmm.
you're not a small boy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You've played for 5 years. Come on. When people say, "Oh, he's just 22," he's played for 5 years. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing Mourinho said when you mentioned that. He said he's played for 5 years. He started playing from 17. So stop calling him a kid. He's not a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you can't compare him, even at that age. A 22-year-old generally is still, in terms of how do I say it now? Age of a human being,
Mm-hmm.
is still vulnerable, is still, how do I say it, susceptible to making mistake a 22-year-old or a 21-year-old would make.
Yeah.
There's still that probability. You can't
Yeah,
compare it to
yeah.
somebody that is 29 or 28. Do you see what I'm saying?
But are you that's what I'm saying? Like, are you
Or
checking
somebody that is
age?
33.
Now you're going to age. Like, because I'm
No,
like,
no, no. I'm just,
I'm trying to align the two. So
yeah.
okay, let's say somebody's 17, they've been playing
So
for 5 years.
there's football age, and
Mm-hmm.
there's age like
So,
this.
but they don't. I feel like they don't really intersect too much.
They do in, anyways, to me, I feel like they
They don't
intersect
really intersect too much
a
to
bit.
me, in my own opinion, because a let me give you an example. A 22-year-old Haaland,
Mm-hmm.
is just as clinical,
Mm-hmm.
as mature,
Mm-hmm.
as I guess, as narrow focus, or narrow, like, I don't know the words to use in terms of concentration.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And you
I'm
know,
I'm waiting for the striker you want to call.
as Lewandowski. See, as
No,
Lewandowski.
please don't say
Yes.
my God.
Yes. Like, what would I be saying? As Lewandowski.
No.
Of course.
Or Hurricane, no.
Or
I
even
won't put
As
Harry.
Harry Kane.
No, no.
Yes.
No, no, in the sense
No, in
that
what sense?
you
Like,
will you will notice, even in
Harry Kane doesn't have a treble.
no, no, what I'm
Haaland
saying
has
is,
a treble.
what
Haaland
I'm
has gotten
saying,
to finals.
what I'm saying is, in terms of, in terms of what they call this now, in terms of football, you watch, there are some games you watch Haaland in,
Mm-hmm.
right? He has 12 touches. You just, he, he's still, even even if he's a clinical goal scorer,
Mm-hmm.
he's still trying to, how do I say it now? He's still learning. You notice he's still learning, in the sense that, no, no, why I
Learning.
say, no, in the sense that,
Mm-hmm.
you can't compare strikers of, let me use the old strikers that I know, that I'm
Mm-hmm.
familiar with. Let's say a striker like, um I don't know what to call now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just use Drogba,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Drogba is having a bad game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's say Drogba when he was 28, or let's use when he was 28, because when he was 26, he was, or 24, he was like Nicolas Jackson, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get? So let's say Drogba of 28 was entering into his peak. Do you get? He's having a bad game. He's
Mm-hmm.
not having many touches. Drogba knows what to do.
Mm-hmm.
He just, he knows what to do to affect the game.
Mm-hmm.
As a striker, there are two phases of your game. That's why if you ask me to pick a striker, if you put Isak and you put Haaland, I will pick Isak every day of the week.
Over Haaland.
Yes, the major reason I would do
Mm-hmm.
that is because Isak knows how, even if Isak is having a bad game, he knows how to he knows how to, how do I say it now, affect the players around him
Mm-hmm.
and make the game different. Haaland is still learning that. That's why you see some matches he scored and he did well to us. You see Guardiola arguing with him and not happy with him. Why do you think Guardiola is doing that? Because there are still elements of this game that are still raw. Do you get? So, which is fine. Haaland is a senior pro. He's not a child.
No, but
Do you
I
get?
I only brought Haaland
Yeah.
up like before we even branch into this whole Lewandowski conversation. I was talking about like veteran players. I just brought Haaland up to prove a point that Haaland is a player that yes, age wise he's young, but
Yes, but
experience
he's
wise and
experienced.
mentality wise is quite high.
Yeah,
Right? It might
he
not
has
be.
close to 7 years playing football at the highest level.
You get what I'm trying to say, right? So
Yeah.
so when we talk about like age what age matters,
Okay,
I
but
feel
let,
like
let
are
me
you looking at age like your
so
actual
let
age
me
of the
put
player
this
or
to
the
you
age
now.
in
The
football?
average career of a footballer now, do
Mm-hmm.
you believe that the average career of a footballer has increased over time from the times that Lampard, Drogba, all these guys were there, has
Mm-hmm.
increased over time from 14 years
Mm-hmm.
to about 20, 23 years. On
Okay.
the average
Mm-hmm.
now, the,
Mm-hmm.
the player lifespan, an average player lifespan now playing
Mm-hmm.
football is a quality player is 20 years.
Because they are starting early, leaving
They are
later.
starting, most of them are starting, the good ones, excellent ones
Mm.
are starting 18.
Yeah.
Let's say you don't peak quickly, you start 21
Mm-hmm.
or 22, you are retiring like 36, 35.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get? So minimum you're spending 15 years. So if Haaland has like 7 years of experience,
Mm-hmm.
you're comparing it to the average of 20 years as a maestro.
Mm-hmm.
He's still even yet to reach that his peak. The Haaland we're seeing now has not even started anything yet.
That's
He's
what we
still
hope.
going to get, he's still going to
Mm-hmm.
improve.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get? With he has 1 more year, 2 more years, he's
Mm-hmm.
still going to get better than what we are seeing now.
Mm-hmm.
Because he still has a lot of years. That's why he signed 9 years, right? Because yeah.
Yeah.
But I get what you are saying in the sense that you cannot write Barcelona off.
You absolutely cannot.
You can't. You can't. And the reason I say that is because the manager themselves,
Mm-hmm.
manager is very important. Like I told you something with Bayern Munich. I said Vincent Company doesn't have the tactical know-how.
Mm-hmm.
It matters. Do you get what I'm saying? He doesn't have the tactical know-how. He's still learning his trade. All those things matters. Luis Enrique has gotten into the head of his team. Even this coach of Barcelona.
Hansi Flick.
Before he came, this is his first season, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Last season they were average.
The
Barcelona were
under
just
Javi. Mm.
they were just okay. But you notice that Javi was
Mm.
learning.
Yeah. He
You can't
was.
compare him with Hansi Flick.
Yeah.
There's a difference, and that's the coach,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's it. So we'll see. It
Okay.
will be a tough one.
Yeah. So what are your
You,
final thoughts before we hop off?
yeah. Final thoughts. I don't know. Um, I feel like next week we're going to have a big surprise. I don't know on what end is going to be, on what spectrum
Mm-hmm.
is going to be, right? It could be Real Madrid surprising us. It could be Aston Villa surprising us. Those are the only two possible surprises we can have.
You're really hopeful.
No, no, no. Any of them
Right.
can. Kingsley, like you said, Liverpool has overturned 3-0.
Mm-hmm. It's
So
very possible.
Chelsea has overcome. Um, was it 4-1? 4-1 deficit. I can't remember the team, the Juventus or something like second round. That year they won Champions League,
Mm.
right? So you can't tell. So you can't really say. So I think till his boot on, like you said, his boot turns up. If you turn up,
Mm-hmm.
then the game is yours.
Fair. I think my final thoughts on this.
Mm.
I think I see an Arsenal Barcelona final, and it's so hard for me not to see that.
Mm-hmm.
If not an Arsenal Barcelona final, and
Arsenal PSG,
A PSG Barcelona
PSG
final.
Barca final.
Yeah, because I'm relying on this Barca team a lot because I've seen them play. I love the way
Mm.
they play, and they've been consistent, and they just look
Yeah.
so good that I'm just tipping them to go far in the Champions League. I don't see Inter Milan being strong enough to take out Barcelona. That game could be a game that could go to penalties, and if it does goes to penalties, I will still lean towards Barcelona, right? So, looking at everything, I'm tipping Barca to get to the final, and with Arsenal, I know it's kind of crazy for me to say Arsenal in the final, but they are also a team that they are only missing one thing, and that thing that they are
It's a
missing
striker.
is a striker, and that missing the striker is not so crazy that
Mm,
they don't get goals. They find other ways to get goals, right?
they do.
They are great
They
at
do.
set pieces, corners, free kicks.
Yeah.
Like, they are a team that find a way. And right now, to win the Champions League, you just have to find a way. You have to
Yeah.
find a way to
True.
win. So
True.
whoever finds a way to win the most is the one that eventually will win the Champions League. Madrid, they know how to find a way, but 3-0 going into the Bernabeu, where you've not really been informed this season. Vinicius
True.
Junior is not really looking solid.
Vinicius Junior is looking like Modric these days.
It's not looking solid. Mbappe is in form. Mbappe is good. Um, Rodrigo is good. Is in form, but they've just, as a team generally, they've not really given the most impressive performances this season,
True.
right? I don't know. I'm a bit losing faith in Ancelotti's tactical abilities, because he's now feeling like he's feeling a bit stale, and I
No,
would
but
feel like I
it
want a
happens.
fresh up.
It happens when you are there for some time, right?
I,
And you
I
have
can call I can call like five other teams that play better football than Madrid right now.
maybe it
So
might be Carlo is old too. You know, it
tactics,
might
the
be
tactics feel a bit. I
yeah,
don't I
but
don't know what they want to
it's
do.
the same tactics he used to win it last season, right? Yeah, but the thing is that I feel like adding Mbappe to the team
I might
has
have
removed
confused
some is
things.
removed some and Cruz has not been replaced properly.
Mm-hmm.
Is removing something from them defensively.
Because Kamavinga also has a red card, right?
Yeah, yes. But yellow card, he wasn't playing anyways. And Modric, you will forget that Modric is almost 39. You're using a 39-year-old in the midfield. What does that mean?
That's not
You
good
don't
enough.
you don't have the leg to
They
run.
need they need reinforcements.
Yes, midfield is running. So that's what is killing them.
Mm.
Midfield is running. Like they might have pacey players in front. So the thing is that what Ancelotti doesn't see it as an issue because Modric has longer range of passing.
Mm-hmm.
He has long range passing. He can find anybody. So he just needs to find those guys, any of the three wide men, and they have pace.
Mm-hmm. They
Do
do.
you get? But at the same time, if the ball is turned over,
Becomes a problem.
comes a problem, my brother. So
Mm.
yeah,
All right. So next time, I guess we'll see next week what happens with Champions League, but also this weekend, I mean, the Premier League continues, so we have to go live this weekend. Maybe
yeah,
one of the days, watch alongs or something. But yeah, thank you guys for joining.
yeah. Thank you.